What is crack-lacking, my possums and my friends? It is rookie season. Today, Billy and I have a rookie IDP and offense Dynasty mock draft. We're going to try to run through 3 rounds today. Let's see if time allows here. But guys, it is full on rookie season, and we are offensive points, and we love this time of year. Go to idpplus.com and enter promo code IDP2025 for 50% off all of our subscription packages. You can choose which one you want, get 50% off, and that price will go right back up when the casuals get more into this. So right around June, I'm guessing. So you don't have a whole lot of time. Go get it now, and enjoy all of the wonderful content that IDP Plus has to bring you. Also, if you're going to the Fantasy Football Expo, go buy your tickets now. If you're not going to the Fantasy Football Expo, you should go to the Fantasy Football Expo. And if you go, find Josh Hall, tap him on the shoulder. He owes you up to 17 beers paid for by him. So it'll be fun. Billy, what's up?
I do like that the deal keeps getting more and more. But to be honest, the amount of time that he is just not here on this podcast anymore, he might as well be buying us beers as well for each time he doesn't show up to the pod. So, I mean, either way, we're going to have to start holding accountable at some point here.
And if you happen to be in the Milwaukee area, go to Project Brewing and purchase Donna's Pickle Beer. It is flipping fantastic. Highly recommend it.
Wow. Normally I'd say no free ads, but I mean, come on now. Kind of, we can shell out for Donna's Pickle Beer.
We can, Billy. I grew up drinking Stag with a pickle spear in it. That was.
Oh yeah, I mean, me
that
too.
was the beer. Yeah, we both did. So I saw pickle beer and I was like, I am buying a pack of those. So I did.
Yep, Southeast Missouri staple, the pickle beer or pickle in the beer. Incredible. Well, Joe, we've had quite the activity in the weather today. Up in St. Louis where we are, there's not really been that much, but down south where we are from, been quite active down there. Hope everybody is okay and doing good down there. It sounds like mostly structural damage, but, tornadoes are scary, my friend.
They are. And we are in Tornado Alley, and we are in the thick of the season. So rookie season, tornado season, pretty synonymous, in my opinion.
Yep. There's a good chance that there's going to be more. That's what sucks. But, here we are, and we're good. Nothing hit St. Louis, so we are all good. Me and you played golf this morning, so that's how good we're feeling about things.
We did, man. It was very windy. It was the precursor to the storm. It was a very windy golf day. It was a blast. We should get out and play golf some more. If any of you possums are in the St. Louis area and want to hit 9 holes real quick, hit us up.
Yeah, Joe is always down for 9 holes. You give him, a couple hours notice, he'll be there.
I'm down for 36, 54, whatever you want. I'm game.
Marathon day of golf. I love it. All right. Well, yeah, as Joe said, we're here to do a rookie mock draft. We had something last week that we were completely planning different for this week, but it was mentioned that we should do this. We haven't done one yet. We had nothing on the schedule to do this. So it kind of only makes sense that we go ahead and get this. We couldn't really find a program that would allow us to completely control all of the draft settings. So we're going to go a little old school and just do a good old Excel sheet, Joe. Used to do this back in computer class back in the day.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to do it. Me and Joe are just going to go back and forth picking. I guess the only thing I don't know, Joe, do you want to do it as if the team is just completely fresh? Are we going based on needs, best player available? How do you want to do this?
I mean, we're going to draft how Dynasty players should draft in the beginning and just draft best player available. Don't draft for need, guys. It's only going to get you in trouble. Don't do it.
It really is, especially if you're like, the weakest spot on my team is tight end. I'm going to take that second overall. Trade down if you will make that move. Trade down.
Yeah, and if you can't find someone to trade down with, take the best player available and trade them for a tight end later.
Exactly. That's the smartest way of doing stuff. We've learned throughout the years of doing Dynasty. It's, if you need a wide receiver on your team and there's a really, really good running back there, take the running back. Trade that running back for a good piece on wide receiver.
Think of how many good receivers you could get for Ashton Genty. Now,
Yeah, a lot.
the 101 is not going to fetch that for you, but as soon as he is on your team, then he's going to fetch you some good wide receivers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, let's just start, right out here. Somehow I drew the first pick overall, 101. For the audio audience, we do have a visual component. Go watch this on YouTube at IDP Plus if you want to watch the visual here. But we will just be announcing them out very clearly as we go to make sure nobody gets lost. So, Joe, with 101 on the clock, me to pick, it's Ashton Jeanty. Let's not be ridiculous here. Now, here's one thing I want to talk about with Ashton Jeanty. We've kind of exhausted the comps and all that and stuff. We actually have a contingent of people that are starting to turn on Ashton Jeanty as the 101 and are like more comfortable with Hampton. And I'm here to say, for in fact, I'm not going to name this publication. You can find them. You may have even seen the clip online. But there is a certain contingent of people that were comparing him closer to Rashad Penny than to Saquon Barkley. And I would just like to kind of like squash that narrative because we'll just go with the fact that Jeanty is just a better player overall. Like, I know that they both played at small schools. Rashad Penny played at San Diego State and Jeanty at Boise State. I understand the like immediate like, oh, well, they're both undersized, big guys, like blah, 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 blah. I get that. Look at Jeanty's junior year, which was this year, versus Rashad Penny's junior year. Just go year versus year. They're not even close. Rashad Penny's crazy year was his senior season where he went for 2,200 yards. Ashton Jeanty did 2,600, more touchdowns, everything in his junior season. Like, imagine if he had come back for another year. Like, he would have maybe even gone for 3K potentially. The kid is good, and I understand that he went to a small school. I'm not stupid, and I know people that are like Johnny come latelys are just like, well, he played at a small school. Like, competition sucked. There's a reason that we don't have these kind of conversations about small school running backs every year. There's a reason that small school running backs aren't up for the Heisman Trophy and the Doak Walker Award, which he did win, every year. There's a reason that's not happening. And it's not because they're playing bad competition and running up crazy cartoon video game numbers. It's because he's actually good at the game, Joe. And I can't believe that we're at this part of the hot take draft season, almost a month out, that we've turned on Ashton Jeanty. Like, come on. Let's be for real once, please.
Oh, it's that time of year, man. I mean, everyone gets turned on. The dude had 2,000 yards after contact last year, which is bonkers, in my opinion. You can't go wrong with Ashton Jeanty here. He's immediately going to be drafted as a starter. He is going to be a starter week one, and he is going to be an impact player on your team right away. So yeah, shush all the haters. Ashton Jeanty is phenomenal. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. We didn't see a ton of that at Boise, but he can absolutely do it. He's a 3-down back in the NFL. I love it.
Well, what's crazy is his sophomore year when he was splitting time, he had 500 yards receiving. They just didn't need him to do it this year, Joe. Like, that's the thing. Why would you why did he need to catch the ball more if he could just run over every single person he was playing against? And that includes against players that are from big schools. He played Oregon. Like, that did happen. And I don't know. We're in overthink season. And we're at, hey, let me scare you out of your pick season. And I'm just over it at this point. Ashton Jeanty is the only person on this list that I'm confident it's a surefire thing that it doesn't even matter where they land. Like, they could put him on a backfield that has an established running back, unless it was like the Eagles or something. And I'd be like, he's going to carve out a good amount of work. That's going to happen. So this is way overthinking. So Ashton Jeanty, 101. I can't even believe we spent this much time on it, but it needs to be said, Joe.
It does. It absolutely needs to be said. I was waiting for you to say it before I typed it, and I almost started several times here. So there will be a lot of misspellings. I am sure of this. But for number 2, Billy, I am going to do what my heart is telling me to do here, and I'm going to go with Travis Hunter at 2. This is an IDP draft. I firmly believe that this dude is playing wide receiver in the NFL.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know why he would. And if he does, he is far and away the best wide receiver in this draft. If he does play cornerback and he happens, they were saying, possibly 15 to 30 snaps on offense. If your cornerback is going to catch 6 balls a game, 4 balls a game, that is a huge difference maker on your team as well. I want to hear more, but as of right now, when I'm ranking these guys and I'm drafting them, Travis Hunter is a stud wide receiver, and I can absolutely see him being an alpha on a team immediately. So he's got to perfect a few things. He's a little rough around the edges in some things, but again, he was just too good. He didn't have to do those things. Get him on an NFL franchise. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, and especially since we're doing this as a blended IDP offensive draft, like you might be scared off with the fact of like, what if he plays cornerback full time and he's only out there for 10% of the wide receiver snaps? You would get both points. Like that's the good thing about all of this in the long run. But I think we're trending towards him probably playing more wide receiver, and then maybe he plays cornerback on special occasions or something of that nature. I don't think that's what he wants to do, but I think once he actually gets in the building of New England or wherever, probably not going to have much of a say on what he does. Like I get that he wants to do that, and he probably could do it for at least a couple of years, but I think projecting out that he's going to do it is a little different than actually happening. So I think this is pretty good, especially for IDP, because you're kind of hedging your bets, right? Like you're getting a solid IDP player. You can put them in your IDP spot. If you play cornerback specific, like you put them there, or if you just play like a regular DB spot, you can put them there, and you're going to get the wide receiver points, however many or a lot they might be. Like, or you can roll him out in a flex spot, and if he gets an interception or pick six or something, you're getting points for that too. So I actually kind of agree with you here. Like this is kind of a cheat code to have on your team, and I think he's going to play more wide receiver than the cornerback, but Sleeper is going to code him as a cornerback. He's getting drafted as a cornerback. He's not going to get drafted as a technical wide receiver. I just put in a bet over at DraftKings a couple days ago about wide receivers, and Travis Hunter is not being counted for any bets as a wide receiver. So he's going out as a cornerback, so we got to assume that's what they're going to do. And yeah, I think this is probably the only time in the history of the league, and probably going forward the history of the league, that we're ever going to draft a cornerback number 2 on a rookie mock draft for fantasy football.
Yeah, this is highly contingent on what happens during the draft and what we hear prior. But I mean, honestly, if he's wide receiver, he's a stud. He's going to be awesome at wide receiver. And like you said, if he does get that dual designation, is an absolute cheat code in your DB spot. But we'll see what happens. As of right now, this is what I'm thinking.
For sure. Okay, pick 103. I am going with Omarion Hampton. This is a don't overthink it situation as well. It's trending towards he's going to get drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. Wherever he ends up, you're drafting a guy in the first round and you're planning on them being the starter. I've seen a lot of mock drafts have him land at Denver. I've seen a couple say potentially Pittsburgh to be the guy there. Both of those are beautiful landing spots. I don't mind that at all. He's going to be the one there right away. There's a couple other spots that he could land, like the Chargers, where I'd feel good. I don't think that a team – I think he's going to get drafted by a team that needs a number 1 running back. So for that reason, and just the pure potential of him getting a majority of the touches year 1, like he's going to be an immediate impact starter. Omarion Hampton's my pick, Joe. I'm going running backs. There are plenty in this draft, but the opportunities are tiered a little bit. And I think he's got one of the clear, great opportunities.
Yeah, he absolutely has a great opportunity. He's 221 pounds and moves. He ran a 4.48, which is insane. Little bit of that's kind of what he does. I mean, he's going to do, if he gets out in the open field, he's probably going to get caught, but he's going to rack up some chunk yardage in the NFL, which, that adds up to a lot of points. So I like the pick. I'm not going to argue with you. I really think when I was looking at these running backs here, again, it's going to be contingent on the draft. It's pretty much this spot is going to be belonging to the next running back that is drafted. Because, I've heard a lot of stuff going on about it. So my next pick for this one, I'm going to go with Trevion Henderson.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to type that incorrectly. But, I mean, he's lightning. He is absolutely lightning in a bottle. We saw last year you had a little bit of that crappy injury stuff that we don't like to see, kind of like T. Higgins had this year, where it was just like, and they brought in Quinshon Judkins to complement him this year. Still had a great season, but anytime he touches the ball, he is good. He is ready to rock. He can score a touchdown. He ran a 4.43. So, like Travion Henderson, he's great. He's going to be awesome in a PPR. My concern with him is, does he get stuck in that 12 to 13 touches a game role that we've seen some of these guys go into? But I mean, he absolutely has the size. He's 200 pounds. He's not massive by any means, but he can hold a starting 3-down role. And if we are going to get 15 to 18 touches out of a guy like Travion Henderson, then he could be even he could be RB1 by the end of the year of this rookie class if he gets in that role. So looking at you, Washington, I need you to draft him.
Yeah, he's definitely got the receiving chops, which is very good for PPR leagues, especially. I do see him being the third running back drafted off the board. He's more of like a gadget guy where you could use him wherever. I am a little nervous that he ends up on a team that already has an established guy, and that he ends up being like kind of the third down back / the guy that comes to fill in. But I do think you're drafting him to potentially be the starter in the long run. Like, if they didn't have Charbonnet, but like Seattle, like where they definitely don't want Ken Walker long term, like maybe they bring in Travion Henderson, but like they have Charbonnet, so I don't think that counts. But like a team like
that would kill me.
Oh yeah, me too. That would definitely be devastating. But like you could see the Saints do it, something like that, like where Kamara's getting up there, they bring him in, or like Joe Mixon, Houston, like that kind of situation, something like that. But yeah, no, it's a good pick. I think Travion Henderson's very good. And currently, like the way that this is going right now, this kind of scares me because I have the 105 in a league and I need a running back, and it appears that they're all going to be pretty much the ones that are really good are going to be gone by that time. But moving on to pick 105, we're just going to have the conversation here now. We're going Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State. I'm sticking with my guns here that Judkins is a number one on a team. He's just not getting, because him and other potential number one running back in a backfield, Travion Henderson, just happen to be on the same team at the same time. I said this exactly when he transferred. I was like, I'm glad that Ohio State went and put a big bag of money on his porch, because he's not going to be able to put up the same stats that he did at Ole Miss. And that's exactly what happened. And it's actually scared people off of him. And that's good for me, good for NFL teams. But that means I'm going to get a steal here at the 105. I'm perfectly fine with that. I think the Bears would be stupid not to take him in the second round, pair him with Swift, and get to cooking. Ben Johnson, you've got your guys that you can get. Gibbs probably isn't going to be replicated on this team with Swift and Judkins, but you can get all of David Montgomery's production out of Judkins for sure, and then just maybe get Swift to do the receiving back work. But yeah, this is going to be beautiful, Joe. And I'm not saying year one he's going to be like running back, maybe not going to be running back. I don't even know if he's going to be running back 2 year one. That's what kind of scares me, just because of what it looks like. But the upside's there. Could he be this year's Bucky Irving? Sure. I don't think that at all. He's going to get way higher draft capital than Bucky Irving did. And I think that he's going to get just as much opportunity. He's a better running back than Bucky Irving. So put him on a team with an okay O-line. What are we talking about here? Let's do it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, Quinshon, he's the guy that when I'm watching these guys, I'm trying to evaluate. It's like, is he just behind Ashton Genty? Because like some of them, when you watch him run, is just fantastic. I don't like the fact that he gets caught behind a bunch, but when he hits the hole, he gets through it. He picks up chunk yardages. He can he can catch the ball, which is fine. So, and that workout video has got me totally hyped about Quinshon Judkins. I'm just like, dude, this guy is, ready to kick some ass in the league. So really like Quinshon Judkins. If he does end up on my Chicago Bears, I will be very happy. But I mean, this again, I think these three guys, Hampton, Henderson, and Judkins, it is landing spot and it is draft capital. And when we see that play out, it's probably going to change my mind on a couple of these guys. But, Quinshon could take over Amarion Hampton for me. I wouldn't hate that.
For sure. I'm excited. And again, I just want to just make sure everybody knows Just because the production was down at Ohio State between Henderson and Judkins, it doesn't mean that they were both bad. It means that they had two really good guys on their team, and they both cooked. Like, it's fine. It's not a need to worry. So,
No, absolutely.
just needed to be said.
I agree with you. I do not know what to do here. There's a lot of directions I want to go.
I was about to say you're in a great spot because you have all the wide receivers at your disposal. You have potential sneaky tight end. We have way more running backs.
What I'm doing. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go Tyler Warren here.
Okay.
This dude is so talented. It is absolutely unreal. He can do everything. He is the next Taysom Hill, and if he lands in a place that is going to use him like Taysom Hill, he could have a top 5 rookie season. I mean, we're kind of spoiled because we've seen rookies the last 2 years take tight end 1. Projecting him to do it again is probably not great, but Tyler Warren is such a weapon that whoever drafts him is going to use him and use him frequently right off the bat. So I would go Tyler Warren here. There's a lot of guys that can go in this spot, but I'm just going to get the best tight end.
I think you're right about that, and there's really nothing I would worry about with Tyler Warren. He's going to be a guy on your team that's going to produce right away. You know, we just had Brock Bowers, had Sam Laporta the year before that. Brock Bowers was a little bit more of a sure thing than Laporta was, but I think Tyler Warren is in the same ballpark as Bowers. Bowers was just special. I mean, just like every time he touched the ball at Georgia, it was like, what's going to happen? And for a lot of this season, Tyler Warren was the same way. Like the way that he would play. I mean, I think you're right there. It is going to kind of depend a little bit where he ends up. It's got to be somebody that's willing to actually use him in that direction. Like, I'm nervous about the Colts because I'm like, Colts, what are you going to do?
What you got to get a quarterback first.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing with him? Like, but, you know, we were worried about the Raiders for a second. We were like, well, how are the Raiders going to use him? That doesn't make any sense. Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Brock Bowers was still amazing week in and week out. So he was the wide receiver 1 on that team, basically. And, yeah, it worked out. So, yeah, no, Bowers is a good pick, or Warren's a good pick.
I think his blocking, too, is going to get him on the field right away because he's very good at that. So, not worried about playing time with Tyler Warren.
Yeah, and just for everyone out there that's like probably thinking at this point, like there's no, well, Travis Hunter aside, there's no wide receivers that have gone yet. This is just what me and Joe would do if we were on the clock. I know somebody in your league is going to take Tet McMillan at the 102. I get it. We're not dumb. This is what we would do because we don't think, you know, necessarily that Tet McMillan needs to go at the 102. But I, you know, just needed to get that out there, Joe, because I know people are already going to be rolling their eyes when they read this, like, what? They don't have any wide receivers going yet? That doesn't make any sense. However, I'm going to have one come off the board, and it's Matthew Golden. I think Matthew Golden's going to be taken as the wide receiver 1. There's been a lot of discussion about Matthew Golden's production this last year at Texas. Look, there's plenty of Texas players that you can go and ask, why did they not produce enough? Jaden Blue, we're having that conversation about him this year. Why didn't he produce enough? Brooks got hurt, so I won't really use that for him. But, like, why weren't they winning games with Bijan Robinson? Like, there's plenty of questions. Worthy, why was he not cooking as much as he was there? A.D. Mitchell, like, there's plenty of questions we can make about why is this offense not cooking as much as it is. I'm here to say Matthew Golden. What?
Because Quinn Ewers sucks.
Yeah, that's the actual reason. But, you know, Texas fans love and adore their guys, so whatever. I think Matthew Golden's going to get drafted as the first wide receiver off the board. I'm thinking that more and more. I really think he's going to end up with the Cowboys, which doesn't necessarily mean great things for him because I do think it means he's going to get on the field, though. I think a lot of people forget that CeeDee Lamb, who will be drafted after where Matthew Golden will get drafted, actually had a decent rookie season. He had 900 yards. So I could see Matthew Golden 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. What, is that crazy? No. Like, I think I would take him. And although I think it's going to be a CeeDee Lamb offense from here on out, doesn't mean there's not room for a wide receiver too. So anybody who ends up with the Cowboys is obviously a good spot. We don't know it yet, but I think if Matthew Golden ends up there or Seattle, something like that, like, I'm good. I think he's going to get work.
Yeah. No, I love the way Matthew Golden plays. I mean, he's not going to be a burner. I mean, he's not going to be your deep threat that's flying down the field. He has never played that way. But he's a fantastic route runner. He's going to get on the field immediately, and he can make catches where he needs to be. It's just I don't see him unless the Cowboys can unlock something. I don't see him being like a super, deep yards per target, yards per catch guy. I see him more as being like a smaller possession guy on the outside. But CeeDee Lamb could be the one. He can slot in as number two, and that offense can cook. I mean, we've seen him roll, especially if they do get some backfield help. Even with Javonte, I mean, Javonte is not a bad addition there, so I like it. I have that too. I have him being the first wide receiver as well.
Yeah, so I think he's going to get taken as the first wide receiver. I think if he's the first wide receiver taken, wide receivers might drop in your rookie drafts. But if it's Tet, I think Tet he's 6'5". I mean, we'll get to him. He's going to get drafted in this draft. We'll get to him when we get to him. But yeah, okay. So that's my pick for 6.
Okay, I am going to go wide receiver here, but it's not Tet. It's Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State. I think his ability as an NFL wide receiver is so awesome in a PPR role. I think he can slot in. And Billy, we were on the golf course today. We were talking about this. I think he's the most pro ready to slot into an offense immediately. So if you're at the 1-8, you're looking for immediate value on your team. A guy that's not going to have a super high ceiling, but very stable floor, especially in a PPR setup. I like Egbuka here. And I would take the for sure thing over another player, which we will get to in this draft.
Yeah. I agree with you there. I think Egbuka has like Houston Texans or something written all over him, and I think he's going to get out there used right away. I think he's going to – unfortunately, I think he's going to fall into the second round, and I think that's kind of like perfect for him because that, he's going to have the doubted thing. But people forget players like DK Metcalf fell into the second round. Like that happened, and he was not a second round player, but it happened. And I think Egbuka is falling victim to it, unfortunately. But I think he's going to be very productive right away. He's not a guy that's ever going to be like the wide receiver 1 on a team, but he's going to really cook as a wide receiver 2.
Yeah. And those possession guys are valuable as hell.
Yeah, especially if it's an offense that doesn't have a clear 2 like that. Those are still really good amount of points there that are available. Like just because you're not getting the Nico Collins on a Houston team, Tank Dell was still cooking. Stephon Diggs was still cooking. Yeah,
if you could give him to Trevor Lawrence, that's like the type of guy he needs. Just
Yeah, no, I think you're completely right there. So, yeah, all right, 8th pick, Emeka Egbuka. All right, on to number 9. This is where I'm legitimately kind of like, do we take dart throws or do we keep it simple, stupid? And that's kind of where I'm interested here. I think I'm going to go running back again, Joe. I know I've already taken this many, but I think I'm going to go with the last guy I would have in our bunch, and that's Caleb Johnson from Iowa, actually. I still think Caleb Johnson's going to get drafted high. I still think he's potentially the second round. There's another running back that's screaming up the boards lately that I just don't understand, and I won't understand it until I see it for myself. But I think Caleb Johnson's going to be one of those guys that has like a really boring name, played at a boring school, like doesn't really – there's nothing boring about his game, though. Like he's going to be able to get yards. He's going to be out there. He's going to be very active. I think people are just going to be like not on him because his name is Caleb Johnson. And it's not fun. Like that's literally, I think, where we're at right now with people overthinking Caleb Johnson. But he's going to churn yards. If you like Pacheco for the Kansas City Chiefs, this is just a better version. So, yeah, I don't know why we'd overthink it.
That's a decent comp there. My only concern is like Pacheco. I think he's got to go somewhere where he's the featured back to really live up to his potential.
He's not going to be catching balls. So that's another problem is if you're in a PPR league, he's not going to be catching anything. Not that they're going to ask him to.
No. I don't know. It just seems like, when I'm watching him, like he gets like 2, 3, 4, 5 yards, and then all of a sudden he busts off a big run. So he kind of like softens up the defense and then takes off. So I feel like he's a guy that they have to feature if you're going to get your full potential out of Caleb Johnson. But as a Hawkeye myself, I love him as a player.
So I would feel good taking him at the 109.
All right, for my January 1st pick, I'm going with Aaron McMillan here. Um, I don't want to go with Aaron McMillan here. I think he's a fantastic player. There are just too many. Actually, at the 110, I'm totally doing this move. He's extremely talented. He's 6'5". He's gotten comps to Mike Evans. He's gotten comps to, Vincent Jackson. I've heard whatever you would like to throw at Tet. My only thing with Tet was it the quarterback just being complete ass and not being able to get him the ball where he would just disappear at times, or what's going on there? Because when I see the potential outcomes for Tet, he's a huge red zone presence. He's a contested catch guy. And we're kind of seeing that position going away in the NFL more and more. It used to be the bee's knees. That's what everyone did. We're seeing that go away. I don't know if he's going to be a highly featured guy on an offense. I don't know if he's going to be a 2, a 3. Again, I think in the NFL draft, he's going to go high enough to where he will be featured. Probably at least a wide receiver 2 on an offense. But I just don't know what the full ceiling versus floor with Tet is. So a little bit down on him. That could change. Obviously, I think the NFL still sees him as a very high prospect. I know the pundits do. So we'll see where he ends up.
So it's the thing that scares me about Tet is that we watched Quentin Johnston happen, and that makes me a little nervous about him in general. And it's not necessarily his fault. It's just like, we were talking about this earlier. It's just there's going to be games where he gets 200 yards. Like, that could happen. But then there's going to be games where he catches 2 for 30. And you're like, how are they not just throwing it to this guy every time? He can win every jump ball possible. And who knows, maybe, at Arizona they weren't as like forward thinking, but you would think with a bad quarterback in a guy like that, where it's the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL draft potentially, why are we not just throwing it to him every single time? Like, he's either going to get pass interfered with, whatever, or he's going to catch it, right? Like, that's the why is he not getting 20 targets a game if he's that much better than everyone else he's playing? So, like, that's the stuff that like scares me about Tet McMillan, for like why did that not happen? Is Arizona dumb? Like, they clearly had to know what they have. I don't know. It makes me a little nervous that maybe there's something off. Like, it just doesn't smell right.
Yeah, and I mean, when he gets up against press coverage too, he falls off. I mean, it's not great, and the NFL is going to be pressing him a lot. They're not going to let him get by him, and he's slow to get moving too. So it's like, yeah, he's great when he has straight line speed when no one's in front of him, but I don't think that's going to happen in the NFL. So,
but there's going to be a couple routes, Joe, that are going to be beautiful. They're going to be like, whoa, okay, this guy is the real deal. Yeah. And hopefully there's more of those than not. Obviously, we're taking him at the 110, so we do expect him to succeed, just maybe not at the level that some people are expecting. All right, we're going to go to the 111, and our colleague who isn't here but has plenty of time to put stuff in the chat, it's Cam Ward at the 111. Look, going to be the first pick in the draft. Going to be the overall number 1. Probably, he's going to be at Tennessee. They have a decent amount of weapons there, actually. Like, it's kind of not, a bad situation to end up in. However, like, again, the quarterbacks in this draft are not really blowing me off the page, like between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. I do think it's going to take a little bit of time to get good at, the position in the NFL. The transition is going to be a little hard. But you're getting, if you need a quarterback especially, you're going to draft him high. He was the number 1 pick. So this one, I don't really have that much to talk about because it's Cam Ward. Like, we know what he is by now.
Well, he's starting, right? I mean,
and that's the other good thing about it.
Yeah. I mean, you immediately have a solid backup quarterback. If he's your starting quarterback, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're going to get right off the bat, but we do think he can develop into something really solid on there. I'd probably take him a couple picks later, but I fully support you taking him there.
If you need a quarterback.
That's what
I'm going off of here, is like, you're going to get a starter here. Whereas as I'm looking through the list, we have like potential fringe starters. So I'm going to get the one guy that I know is going to be out on the field at least.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to, for 112, to wrap up the first round, we are going with the homer pick, and we're going to go with Luther Burden out of Missouri. I was totally in on this dude and then soured on him, and now I'm right back to it. I think that a team's going to draft Luther Burden to be their slot receiver. Probably going to fall out of the first round at this point, which opens up a lot of good landing spots for that. And I think that if he's featured in an actual NFL offense and not all these gimmick plays that Mizzou tried to put him through just to get the ball in his hands, I think he's going to be an absolute weapon. And it's going to be great to watch him carving up defenses. You know, we could see some Debo stuff out of the backfield. That's a guy he gets comped to a lot. But I really like Luther Burden. His skill set, his shiftiness alone, and his yards after the catch will, I mean, it's going to be fantasy points. It's probably going to be boom or bust, I'd imagine. But he's too good to not be taking at this point in the draft.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping he ends up with like Seattle, who got rid of Tyler Lockett, and they kind of have a slot position open. Like Luther Burden would kind of go in there. Where he's going to fall in the draft, probably not going to end up there necessarily, unless they go up for him in the first round, which would be shocking. Yeah, like watching him play this last season, like, did we think anything outside of screen passes? Like, is that all Brady Cook could do at Mizzou? Like, it felt like that's all he was doing. When the year before, it was like Luther Burden was making all sorts of spectacular plays. So, yeah, I just never really got to the potential after last season. So, I don't know. I'm a little nervous about Luther Burden, but the potential is off the charts. Like, you might be getting like a hell of a steal here at the end of the first round, and this is going to your potential champion. So, like that's a good spot for him.
I think he could go to a team like Pittsburgh, and they would feel comfortable enough letting Pickens walk at that point, or finding a trade for him, and DK and Burden can go out and be your 1 and 2 right there, mix them with Freiermuth. Carolina would be a good landing spot for him. That's kind of the offense that they want to run out there, is that, you know, get the ball in the hands and let it unfold. So we'll see.
For sure. Okay. 201. First pick, second round. You definitely could start thinking IDP here. I'm currently not just yet, just by the way the board's fallen. I think there's a couple more people I feel good about taking just with the upside that they have. And I'm taking Trey Harris, Ole Miss.
Hell yeah.
Joe's guy. I think if you're drafting Trey Harris, you're expecting him to be on the field week 1. And I think that is something that you can't overlook. That's something that you can't just brush aside. I'm kind of curious where he's going to end up. Like, we're talking in the second round, so like he's not really getting into the mocks a whole lot, because a lot of people do, 3-round mock drafts. But he's got a crazy route tree, Joe. Like, he can do just about anything that you're asking of him. And I think that any coach that gets him on their team, any OC, is going to want to deploy him right away to fill in whatever gaps they have in their offense. So for that reason alone, I feel like we're seeing another great Ole Miss wide receiver come out and potentially be a good guy here.
Yeah, with no fanfare whatsoever. I mean, I love the way Trey Harris plays. He is an alpha on your team. He's the wide receiver 1. I mean, that's what Jackson Dart did. If he was in trouble, he just chucked it down the field because he knew that Trey Harris would be around that area. Trey Harris would catch it. So I love Trey Harris. I think he's going to be a fantastic NFL wide receiver. All right, 2-2. I'm going with Trey McBride here in Colston Loveland.
Okay. I think that a lot, actually.
Yeah, I think he could even sneak into the first, man. I really love the way Colston Loveland plays. It's exactly like Trey McBride. So whatever tight end needy team drafts him, he's immediately going to put up points in that role.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I really hope secretly he goes to the Chargers and plays for his old coach, because I think that Harbaugh loves him, and I think that he's going to be able to maximize him. That's kind of my like dream wishing running back, that is. But we'll see. I kind of like it a lot. All right, with 203, I am going to go IDP, and we're going to pick Abdul Carter.
Love it.
He's going to be a top 3 pick in the draft. There's still an outside chance he goes 1. I really think that's completely outside. We're talking about outside in the back behind the shed chance that he goes number 1. But there still is a chance. I think wherever he ends up, that obviously he's starting right away. And if he starts for Cleveland, if he ends up in Cleveland, if they don't trade down, which is a possibility, by the way, because they need a quarterback. But I just it's hard not to dream about Abdul Carter alongside Myles Garrett, and those two just cooking. Like, you double Garrett, Carter's going to get his. And for that reason alone, those two are going to wreak havoc in the AFC North for years. And at this point, because Myles Garrett's there for 7 more years now. So I think I'm gonna have to go Abdul Carter, Joe. The landing spot is too juicy. I trust that defense. I think he's gonna get work right away.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely get work right away, and he's going to produce right away. Watching that dude play is absolutely ridiculous, especially if you get him, like you said, with a Myles Garrett on the outside. I mean, we could see, I don't know if rookie sack leader of all time, but definitely of all the rookies this year.
It's tough not to at least think about it.
Definitely. Let's see. I'm gonna go Dylan Sampson here.
Okay.
As you pointed out during golf today, Billy, we have been burnt by Tennessee running backs.
Hurts.
It does hurt. I love the way Dylan
hurts.
Sampson plays, dude. This dude is so shifty. He's awesome. He's going to come in. I don't think he gets full workloads. I think he's probably splitting. He didn't run a 40 because he had the hamstring injury, but I mean, the speed is absolutely evident on the field. He's shifty. He's quick. He's a home run hitter type running back. He's the type of guy that if you get 12 to 15 carries at 2-4, he can absolutely be a difference maker for your team.
I agree completely. We just need one to hit, Joe. Just for old time's sake, just let one of them please be a guy that we know of. Because Eric Gray went to Tennessee, he wasn't great. Jalen Wright, still waiting great, for him to pop off there.
We just need Kamara to retire and pass the torch to one of these guys.
I was about to say, technically Kamara's still out there for Tennessee that we are hopeful of. I don't know. I need one of these guys to pop, and down around the goal line, nobody's stopping him. That is one thing you can say about Dylan Sampson, for sure. So I guess we'll see what happens, Joe, but I'm crossing my fingers again. I will say this. It will not be me drafting Dylan Sampson. I don't want to get burned again. I don't think I would ever, feel good about entering the state of Tennessee again if that happened to me.
It will be me.
With the amount of Jalen Wright shares that I have just sitting on my bench for the entire season. Okay, let's move on to 205, second pick, or fifth pick, second round. I'm going to go with Elic Eomanor from Stanford. I appreciate you said Elic because it's E-L-I-C. We said there's going to be some spelling here going on here. So the upside is he can be an incredible player at times. I think we're kind of looking a little bit about Ted McMillan here, just not in the same ballpark of production wise, where there's certain games where he pops off for Stanford, and there's other games where he's not really doing anything. And I think just from the development aspect, the chance to get on the field aspect, I don't mind taking him here. Probably going to be on your taxi squad year 1 potentially, which scares me. That's why we're using this with a little asterisk almost maybe, but I still think he's going to get drafted high enough in the second round or third round that he's going to get a starter's shot, depending on where he gets drafted to, obviously.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely got the size. He's got the box out stuff so he can take over a defense. He's kind of that contested catch guy. I would love to see him develop into something more. I'm personally not super excited about him after watching him, but I can absolutely see a path for him to break out, and he definitely has the potential. So at this point in the draft, that's
the landing spot is dependent on somebody who can develop a wide receiver. Like, this is where you don't want to end up. Like, Baltimore, horrible landing spot for this guy. But if he lands at a place that turns out good wide receivers, like even if he ended up with like the Cowboys, I'd feel good about that. Like I would trust that they could probably get him to a spot where he could be productive at the next level. Like I wouldn't mind. But he ends up on the Steelers. That's a taxi squad guy. You might as well drop straight away because you're probably never going to see him, unfortunately.
Yeah, we shall see how that unfolds. But
Yeah.
he's a good player, man. I like him. Not hating there. I'm gonna go back to the IDP well and go Jalen Walker here. This dude is absolutely insane. He rushes the passer. He can play off ball linebacker. He can do just about anything. So for IDP purposes, I mean, my comp is kind of like Micah Parsons a little bit. If they use him more in that edge rushing role, that'd be awesome. But if he does get that linebacker start, he could rack up tackles for you, and he has so much speed that he can rush the quarterback from the linebacker position, which is incredible. So Jalen Walker, come on down. You are on my team.
Yeah. And another guy that year one, I think we can see him getting some good stats. So, that's a solid pick. I like that here at 206. All right, 207. I'm taking, and we might as well just get into it, Cam Scatterboo.
I was wondering.
All right, so I just want to, before we even get into this, I don't love Cam Scatterboo. I have seen people saying, will he be available at the 34th pick in the draft? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Is he going to be available in the third pick in the second round? What are you talking about? He is not going to go that high. But what if he does? And that's where I'm kind of we need to at least hedge our bets here a little bit with this draft. Because if he was to go in the second round for whatever reason, I mean, he's going to get used right away. Like, that's definitely going to happen. The things that scare me about him, he's never breaking away. If he's got an open field in front of him, he's going to get caught pretty quickly. He is a battering ram, which is good. And I really don't see how he's going to be good for more than 3 or 4 years. I really don't. I mean, it's going to be like Icarus, you'll fly too close to the sun, burn the wings off of the feet or whatever. But if you want to ride that, that's fine. Why not? Like, I don't know, Joe. I don't know what to say here because he did have some really cool moments in the college football playoff. He had some cool moments during the season even. He had 1,700 yards. Like, all of that's not a joke, but I just don't trust it. He looks like a 4th or 5th round guy here. I don't know.
I don't know what to do with Cam Scatterboo. I mean, talk about timing. The timing of his breakout game, which I know he did a lot all year, but the timing of his national appearance was awesome, and it caught the attention of a lot of people. You're right. He is a battering ram. He plays like a fucking caged weasel. I mean, I wouldn't want to try to tackle that dude.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, and I'm sure that NFL defenses even would get kind of tired of trying to tackle him after a while too. And the other thing going in his favor, I mean, they didn't really have anything else going on. So all the defenses knew that they had to stop him, and they still had trouble doing it. So I like Scatterboo, Scatterbooski. But I don't know, man. I don't think I'm going to draft him, if that makes sense. I like it. If it falls, I mean, if I had the 2.8, 2.7, I would definitely consider it here. But the guys that have gone above him, I think I would be more comfortable drafting him. I just don't know what happens. And if he gets drafted in the early second, wheels off. Let's get him up to 2.2 or 2.3 or, even 1.12 for that matter. But I just don't really know what to do with him.
Yeah, it's one of those things like we have to do it. Like, personally speaking, probably would be in the 3rd round for me because I think he's like a 4th or 5th round guy that may get an opportunity someday. But the way everybody else sees him, he might as well be the running back 3 in this class, which I'm just like, what are we talking about? Like, you've lost me. You've lost me completely.
Yeah, I've seen RB3 rankings on him, and hey, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm behind the needle on this one, but who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? So many good players here that I really want to take. I'm going to go with my guy, LaQuint Allen out of Syracuse. I think that this dude is.
You love this guy.
Absolutely love this dude. He is a sleeper of all sleepers in this draft class. Played wide receiver, switched to running back, and looks really good at running back. He kind of runs like Darren McFadden, a little bit more upright. Not the fastest guy out there, but this dude catches the football like no one's business. And if you can get him in a pass catching role in an offense, give him a couple carries, especially on a team with a bad defense. I know I'm adding a lot of asterisks here, but I really like LaQuinn Allen. I think he's an immediate weapon on whatever football team drafts him. And I mean, the way he is as a pass catcher, there are not many active NFL running backs that can catch the ball better than him. The one-handed grab he had with two defenders draped over him in the end zone was like, Jesus, that's not something a running back does. So give me LaQuinn Allen. I kind of had a Kamara comp today on the golf course, so we'll see if that lays out.
Okay.
Tear me apart.
I'm just going to give you your hopes and dreams here. I don't think he's going to get drafted high enough to make me think like, okay, he definitely needs to get drafted at the 208. However, if you like your guys, go get your guys. I mean, that's how fantasy drafts work, right? Especially rookie drafts. Like, if you like guys, go get your guys. But I don't know, Joe. I'm going to have to see where he lands for sure. But if he lands in a decent spot, that's the only way that he would be this high for me personally. Just
fair.
Throwing it out there.
Totally fair.
Okay. 209. We'll just get it out of the way. I'm taking Shadur Sanders. I think that he's going to get a chance to start. I think he may be starting for Cleveland, depending on how everything goes. I do think that Cleveland's going to draft a Abdul Carter at the 2. Shadur Sanders is going to fall down the board, and then they trade back up into the first round to get him at some point. I do think that's going to happen. Look, if you're drafting Shadur, you're planning on him starting next year. The same thing that we had with Cam Ward, it's kind of with Shadur Sanders. You're getting a starter at quarterback next year. That can't be denied. And if he ends up with Cleveland, that's not such a bad landing spot. I mean, he's going to be handing off the ball, I'm sure, because that's what the offense they like to run. But they have good receivers there. I definitely don't think that this is like all is lost type moment. But, yeah. Let's get the quarterback out of the way.
I like it. It's boring football. I mean, we'll see what happens, but it's pretty boring to me.
Okay, fair enough.
That's all I really have. I'm gonna go with Elijah Arroyo from Miami, the tight end. Okay. Absolute weapon in the middle of the field. Still pretty raw. A lot of room to develop there, but he has the physical tools that. God, I cannot type today. That is a Y-O. Good Lord. Anyway, fantastic tight end prospect coming out. He reminds me of Jelani Woods a lot, which burned me in the past, but I'm double dipping right back into that nacho dip, and I'm going to draft this guy, and should be pretty awesome.
Okay. I don't doubt. I mean, I think that he should be talked about more with tight ends, like as the upper end tight ends, than he's getting drafted or getting talked about right now. A lot of people have Mason Taylor as their tight end 3, but I think it's actually Elijah Arroyo. No, I think you're correct there. It's a good spot. All right. My next pick is Damian Martinez from Florida. I think that he's going to need a little bit of development. Again, going to kind of depend on where he gets drafted. But coming out of Oregon State, I really, really liked him. So when he transferred to Miami, I was excited to see what he did there. Again, it was kind of a crowded backfield at times, and there were some plays that I think that he could be better at. He's not a great pass catcher either, but I don't know. The bones are there of a great running back, and so, yeah, I'm taking Damian Martinez, and he might sit for a minute, but I like him in the end.
Yeah. No, he's a really talented runner. Again, it's going to be tough seeing him, without the pass catching ability, and who knows, maybe he can develop into that some more. But he's got the size, he's got the speed. 4.5 at 217. I mean, that's mean coming at you. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right. Finish out the second round, Joe. Who you got?
Finishing out the second round, I'm going to go with Jordan James out of Oregon. We saw what Bucky Irving did last year, and I am not comparing him to Bucky Irving, but he is a fantastic pass catcher and kind of plays in a similar way. So you're going to get the speed with him. He had a 4.5 40. He's, a little bit lighter, but extremely talented. And I really like watching what he can do against really good teams this year. He played against some really good teams, and he had a fantastic year. So I'll take the upside with Jordan James.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree too. He did a good job filling in for Bucky. Well, not filling in, taking over for Bucky this year. And yeah, no, good pick. All right. First picks, third round. We're going back to the IDP for Jihad Campbell. Going to be a first round pick in this draft. Another potential guy that could end up with Cowboys who need a starting linebacker right away. Look, I mean, these Alabama guys, they always churn out good people down there, and I think Campbell is going to be a very good player at the next level. So, do you agree, Joe?
Yeah, I hope the pec injury heals well, and he is ready to go this year. But I mean, he's about as solid as they come a middle linebacker, and he doesn't do anything that's going to get him benched. So he should put up huge tackle numbers for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go. Jaden Higgins probably should have gone a little bit earlier than this, but I think Jaden Higgins could be everything that we think Ted McMillan is going to be. I don't see any reason why he could not step into a similar role. I mean, the quarterback play at Iowa State was not good, and Jaden Higgins repeatedly had to slow up and make a play on the ball, which usually put him in a bad spot. But if he would have been hit in stride more, he probably would have had at least 5 more touchdowns last year. Love Jaden Higgins. I'm going to try to get him on one of my teams this year for sure. Definitely feel comfortable taking him at 3-2. I probably would feel comfortable taking him at like 2-5 if you were really comfortable, second part of the second round there, because he can absolutely develop. We've just been burnt by Hakeem Butler, so I don't want this to turn into a Hakeem Butler situation.
Also, Xavier Hutchinson, also a guy that
that too.
Thought Xavier Hutchinson was going to be great. Yeah, so that's kind of why I will not be picking Jaden Higgins because, again, Hakeem Butler was on too many of my teams. I traded picks for him. It's a nightmare. Although he's doing great for the Battlehawks. Caw. Jaden Higgins probably should have gone higher in this draft. He's probably going to get drafted decently high as well. So I guess, the joke's going to end up probably being on us. But I don't know. I still like Hakeem Butler was drafted in the 4th round. I think this is something similar here. So that's kind of where I'm thinking there. Okay. Next player on my list, Joe, 3rd round. I'm just going for my guys. This probably isn't going to be the consensus, but I'm just going for it. Ollie Gordon for Oklahoma State.
Love it.
He didn't exactly flash at the combine, but I don't care. I really like Ollie Gordon, and although he had a down year last year, he had an incredible year the year before. And I think had he come out if he was able to come out the year before in 2024, he would be drafted. He would probably have gone in the 1st round of the draft. Like, I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. He probably would have been a 1st round running back. But because he did go back to school and he didn't have such a great year, he kind of went down the board a little bit. So I actually think he's a lot better than he's getting credit for.
No, for sure. And, I mean, talk about 2 different years, right? Ollie Gordon, absolute stud. He can catch the ball. He's not super fast. But that line this year regressed so much from what he was running behind last year. So I don't think you can really pin a lot of that on what he did this year. So
yeah,
I think he's still the same guy we saw his junior year. And, he's going to be an excellent prospect for whatever NFL team drafts him. So pretty much as much upside as you can get at this point in the draft.
For sure.
He could absolutely.
I'm just going with my guys at this point.
Yeah,
I'm going with my guys at this point.
I absolutely love it. if we're going with my eyes, give me Nick Emanuori,
Hell
safety.
yeah.
I usually like waiting on safeties, but this dude is going to be a menace in the NFL. And whatever team drafts him, I mean, he's going to get you tackling. He can play linebacker. He can play that hybrid role for you. So if you're going to get a safety that's going to be able to put up those kind of performances, especially in big play leagues, I really like Emanuori.
Can you imagine if he ends up on the Ravens? That would be so sick.
That would be nasty.
I would love that. No, this is a good pick. He's a good safety, and he's going to be good for fantasy football purposes. Like, there's other safeties in this draft, and not that I'm saying they're not going to be good. I just think stats wise, Emanuori is going to be good right away, and that's what we're looking for here. Okay, next guy is at the 305. I'm going DJ Giddens from Kansas State. Another fantastic running back out of Kansas State here. Again, this running back class is crazy. Some of these guys that are going to go this late are going to be big hits going forward. And DJ Giddens is a guy that he did extremely well at the combine, a guy that like everybody was kind of popping over his RAS score. I just think there's a great chance that he develops into a 1 on this in the league.
Yeah. Well, DJ Giddens, awesome. It was kind of crazy. I mean, I guess he was young, but, not taking the job from Deuce Vaughn, even as a freshman. I mean, come on. Dude. Whatever.
Deuce Vaughn was good. I mean, he wasn't great, but he was good.
So small. No, I'm for it. Okay, for 3-6, I'm gonna go Isaiah Bond. I don't love it. I did not like what I saw from him at Texas, but again, I firmly believe that Texas just runs a weird ass offense that doesn't use their guys to their full potential. We know Isaiah Bond's fast. He got cake in his face for calling out Isaiah Worthy about the 40, and said he was going to beat him, and then he ran a 4.4.
What scared me,
which is hilarious to me. But I do think this kid's talented, and I think in the right offense with the right play caller, he could be an absolute deep threat in this league. So at this point in the draft, I am happy to take a shot on that.
Sounds good. I don't hate that. I will not be drafting him. It's never good when you're slower than you say you are, when you're smaller than you say you are. And he can start saying injuries and start saying all this. But if you're going to say injury, then maybe don't come out before and say that you're going to beat the record for the 40-yard dash. That makes me feel like something's amiss there. I don't know. It's just, it is what it is at this point.
You hate him, though.
Can't hide it. All right. Next on the board for me is Jack Betch from Beck. I don't know how to say his last name. From TCU. Look, he killed at the Senior Bowl. We've seen that guys end up getting taken, whether they're good or not from the Senior Bowl. But he's definitely a guy that's going to get drafted higher than he probably should. And from what he has shown, at least testing-wise and whatnot, he's just got a little bit of juice going into this draft, Joe. And I think that he's a guy that could end up popping in the league, surprisingly, because we didn't really expect it coming from him. But I think that he's going to get drafted high enough to where you have to at least take him to see what you got.
Yeah. No, he absolutely. I'm excited to dive into him more. I have not really seen a lot from him, but I've heard the rumblings and excited to look at it. So it should be fun.
Dominant Senior Bowl, like I said.
Dominant. Let's see.
All right, Joe, what are you thinking?
I got to go Mike Green here, man.
Okay.
I love James Pierce too, but I think Mike Green with the sack upside that he brings, he's going to get drafted, I believe, in a way that's going to get him on the field immediately. And I'm looking at you, Atlanta, and he should be able to. I mean, he has so much speed and so much power coming out the edge there that he's going to be a high sack guy for the majority of his career. You don't have to worry about him taking 2 to 3 years to develop into a starter. I think he's a starter right off the bat.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, elephant in the room. There is the sexual assault allegations against him. We have not gotten anything more than that at this point. So I don't know we don't know what's going to become of that. If nothing becomes of it, then yeah, you're right. He's probably going to end up in Atlanta and it'd be a guy that they need there. But if there's something that comes of it, maybe we'll find out before the draft that could change because he might just be off a ton of people's draft boards. So it's definitely, it needs to be said. It's not, we don't want to talk about that because it's a fantasy football podcast, but definitely needs to be mentioned just in case, something was to happen for that. Don't want to get snipped out of context here saying, Mike Green, pillar of the community, great guy. Don't want that to get snipped out of context, Joe. Definitely not. Just in case.
I won't say anything.
For sure. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go back to my guys, Joe. I just like taking my guys. Yeah, and this one's the biggest stretch yet so far, just because a lot of people hate him. I just don't. It's Raheem Sanders from South Carolina. I love this kid. Loved him when he was at Arkansas. He's got the nickname Rocket. The guy's giant, but he is the exact size I want my running back. He's like 6'1", 220. I just think this one's being overthought quite a bit. And I know that a lot of people are down on him. A lot of people don't have him even close to their top 10 running backs in this draft, but not me. Not me. He will be a guy if I'm in the third round and he hasn't been taken yet, I will be snagging a lot of Rocket Sanders. Expect for me to make some kind of dumb trade to get Rocket Sanders because I think he's better than people are making him out to be. I don't know.
I'm going to hold you to that. You better draft him.
I will.
He's good, man.
And available.
He's solid. He's going to be a role player. I don't know if he's going to be featured a lot, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I'm going Jackson Dart. You got to do it at this point in the draft. I wrote draft instead of Dart. Past 9 o'clock. It's getting close to my bedtime here. No, Jackson Dart, man, there's a lot of unknowns with him at this point. He has looked incredible at times, and I think he's going to go earlier in the draft than people are expecting. So I love Jackson Dart. He's a good deep ball passer. He can run. I think he has legitimate upside to be better than Shedeur Sanders and probably Cam Ward at this point. So I love getting Jackson Dart at 310 and just letting him develop on my taxi squad.
Okay. So there's a chance that he ends up with the Pittsburgh Steelers and he's starting right away, or like they take Aaron Rodgers and he ends up as the guy learning from Aaron Rodgers, which does not bode well for anyone, by the way. It just happens to be how it is. But I definitely can see it. I don't mind it. He's going to get drafted, and it potentially is the first round, which scares me, but I can't knock it. Okay, my last pick, 311. I'm actually going to go defensive player here, which is surprising because I have a lot of offensive players, but I know they're not going to get drafted until late, so I'm kidding myself. I'm going to go James Pierce, edge from Tennessee. I think that he's probably going to be, as far as stats go, probably one of, if not the best second, or maybe the second best edge player in this draft after Carter. I think that going into draft season, after the draft last year, he was projected to be the number one pick in the draft, actually, which is, bodes very well for him. Like, he wasn't great this season, but Tennessee also just didn't have a good year overall defensively, which they were expected to have. I'm fine taking him. Whoever is going to take James Pierce is planning on him to get double-digit sacks if not the first year, second, third year, they're expecting him to be double digits. So I'm going to take him at this point, and I don't need an edge player for a while.
Yeah. So I still don't understand how he's being discounted this much in drafts. Like,
he's a little undersized, and that's what a lot of people don't like. They think that he's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to break through. But I don't know.
I like it. I don't know. I've got 3 guys that I really want to make with this pick here. So I'm going to go with the speed PPR running backs at this point between Tootin, Brashard Smith, and RJ Harvey. And I think I really want to go Brashard Smith because I know he had a top 30 visit with the Bears this week, but give me RJ Harvey. The dude had 1,700 yards last year and, 1,600 a year the before. I think there is enough on his track record to give him a shot to be a very usable piece in the NFL. He's a good PPR guy. I don't like the fact he's 5'8", 205. I mean, I'll let Ashton Genty slide for being 5'8", but I don't know. I'm going to go RJ Harvey, though.
Okay. I have no qualms with that. RJ Harvey was another guy that I don't mind taking here. It's just about draft placement at this point because, like, there is kind of an over saturation of rookie running backs in this draft. And so at some point, we're going to get guys that get taken onto teams where they already have an established guy. And I think RJ Harvey may fall victim to that. But at the same time, like, it's going to be hard to keep him off the field. And that's just, I don't know. This class is just so crazy with the amount of players that are still available, even though we haven't even talked about that could make impacts. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen anything like this.
It's deep. Like, I'm a huge Jaden Blue guy. I didn't put him on this draft because
okay. So now that we finished the draft, let's go over some of the guys that, like, in the 4th round we would feel comfortable with. Like, maybe just do a couple. We don't have to write them down or put them on our little graphic that we have here, but just, like, who are a couple of guys that you're just like, man, I can't believe they would still be available in the 4th round. He could get a 4th round pick for free.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Blue and Tootin, you're talking about 2 guys that ran 4.3s that, are not even being counted at this point. I know Tootin's a big Twitter guy, but I love what I saw out of Jaden Blue out at Texas. Those are really the guys I'm looking at. I mean, Jalen Royals has been interesting to watch.
A lot of people like Royals, but yeah. I just don't know. Like, small school wide receivers, I know that we're all caping up for a small school running back this year, so I guess what are we talking about? But it's just like Malachi Corley was a small school guy last year. He didn't really ever show up. Rashee Rice, technically at the time, even though SMU is now in the Big 12, they weren't at the time. And they would be a small school, or they're in the ACC, just kidding. But he was a small school guy, Rashee Rice was. So, like, okay, like, I guess, I don't know. There's just not enough for me to think that he's not going to struggle, sadly. Like, I just think that that's going to how Jalen Royals, I've had him circled, but I just couldn't ever do it. Can't do it.
Yeah. There's one more guy who I think is like the ultimate 4th round pick that if I get the chance,
I have a bunch, Joe. So just as soon as you're done, let me just spew them all out.
All right. I'm just going to throw this one out. Jalen Milroe, I would totally be drafting in the 4th round just because of his rushing ability. If he gets a shot to start, I mean, you're looking at Justin Fields 2.0, and we know what Justin Fields does in the NFL. So getting him in the 4th round and just letting him cook is perfect for me.
For sure. Okay, well, let me get to my long list of guys that I can't believe are still available in the 4th round, and I'm probably going to be dropping bizarre amount of capital to get into this draft if these guys are still here. Devin Neal from Kansas. Love Devin Neal. I don't know why people, again, I think this is the boring name complex, like Caleb Johnson, where it's just like, oh, he has a boring name. I'm not going to think about it. You're overthinking it. He was quite good at Kansas, and he should definitely be a guy that we're thinking of. Another one is Trevor Etienne from Florida, from Georgia, technically now. He was from Florida. His brother is in the NFL. Trevor Etienne's not bad at football. He's still going to get a chance, and just name alone should get him on the field at some point. Taj Brooks from Texas Tech. He's not much of a pass catcher, but he was a bulldog at Texas Tech. And I think he's being punished for going back to school, and it's just the fact that there's so many running backs in this class already. But he's a guy that I would not ever turn down. I would definitely try to use him. You already mentioned Jaden Blue, who's not getting any buzz at all, sadly, as it is. And then a couple of wide receivers, Xavier Restrepo. I get it. He had an all-time bad pro day at Miami. I get it. We all laughed and looked in horror as he ran like a 4.7, and then afterwards came out and said like something, paraphrasing, but like, look at what I did on the field and I have tape, and then not like one day later puts out a thing saying that he has a hamstring injury and that he was injured for that. Like all time, like cannot believe that happened, but it happened. So
no,
I get it. I get people's thought process there of kind of putting him down the board a little bit. And then Troy Horton from Colorado State. If he would have been in last year's draft, 2024, he would have been so much higher than people are viewing him right now, which he's not being viewed terribly bad. I mean, he's still a lot of people like top 50 rookies in this class. Like he's still being viewed that way, and maybe the midway point of that. But like I don't see why if he's available in the 4th round, he should be not on your board to be drafted. And the fact that I don't have enough 4th round and 5th round picks is kind of something I'm going to be looking for. I will definitely sell guys that aren't going to be that productive for potential at this point. Like just because the guys that are in our leagues, Joe, love names, they hate draft picks. No. So if I can, if let's just say Troy Horton is there at the 412, I will definitely be asking whoever if they want somebody insignificant to me for that pick. Definitely, because I know I'm going to get a guy that their upside's there. It's just going to matter landing spot, and we'll see after the draft where we get to there. But there's just so much talent in this draft. The running backs are insane. Like I wish we almost could cut up this draft class and put some of them into the 2024 draft, because that one was good but not great, and I think we could have used it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you know what's crazy, Joe? Next year's running back class is pretty sick. Like some of the guys that went back to school, I was surprised that they went back to school, but that's just going to make next year's draft class for running backs pretty darn good.
Yeah. No, even like Brashard Smith, I really like him. Watching him, he's a great wide receiver.
Didn't even mention Harold Fannin from Bowling Green. Like, didn't test super great, but like I liked a lot of what I saw from him at Bowling Green. I definitely think he should be a guy that needs to be mentioned.
Yeah, and especially like in dynasty drafts, I love the fact that we do this, because when I'm watching this, I'm like, well, this isn't a very deep draft, and then after doing this and working through it with you, I'm like, this is a very deep draft. And especially when you get into a dynasty league and people are going to be taking Dylan Gabriel, they're going to be taking Tez Johnson, they're going to be taking names that they know. These talented guys are going to continue sliding down the board. So you're absolutely right. I mean, a 4th and a 5th round pick, at least a 4th round pick in this draft, wouldn't be a bad idea to go make some trades out there to get some of these guys.
Yeah. And then the last name I just want to throw out there, I know we're throwing a lot of people. If you're jotting it down, I'm sorry. We just keep throwing names. But Luke Lashley, Iowa tight end, Iowa famous tight end school. Everyone, it seems like they've churned out, has ended up being an NFL player for years and years. So Luke Lashley had a devastating injury that kept him out of being able to, or wanting to be drafted last year. So he came back to school. I don't even care what the production is, Joe. It's just the fact that Iowa churns out tight ends every single year. So Luke Lashley should definitely be a guy that people are looking into. I think just keep it in the back of your mind a little bit. Just keep it in the back.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I mean, IDP, Malachi Starks still floating around. He could be kind of a immediate Brandon Jones for you, who has been very productive when he's healthy in his career. Nick Scowerton's still there. There's a lot of edge rusher depth in this class. I mean, the linebackers.
Dude, my guy, Danny Stutzman. That is a guy that people need to be paying attention to. Danny Stutzman is a dog And he should have come out last year. I think he would have been a second or third round linebacker. Not saying he can't do that in this draft exactly. He tested very good for like what people would have thought. And I think that you could easily get him on your team late. And I think eventually it might take a year, but I think eventually he will work into it. Like I know a lot of people drafted our guy that went to the Steelers, Peyton
Wilson.
Yeah, Peyton Wilson. Didn't really get a lot of production last year, but I think we'll work into it. And I think that might be a Stutzman thing as well, where it might take, he's not going to go in the first round. He might not even go in the second round, but I think eventually he will work into an every down linebacker. So that's a guy I would definitely think about too.
Yeah, and then Carson Schweissinger out of UCLA. I mean, he sacks, interceptions, tackles. He kind of does it all. So he's a guy to keep an name on too. It's really going to be interesting once this draft happens to see where these linebackers go.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, that's where we're drafted. Joe, you want to scroll back up? We'll read through the first. Oh, you already did. My bad. And we'll show the first round one more time for the audio audience. So, pick 101 was Ashton Genty. Pick 102 was Travis Hunter. Like that duel, in an IDP offensive draft, Travis Hunter's dual eligibility is going to be key there. In a regular offensive-only draft, he probably would be falling a little bit further down just because of the non-clarity right now. But just based on this being both offensive and IDP, got to have him at the 102. Mm-hmm. Omarion Hampton was pick 103. Pick 4, Travion Henderson. Pick 5 was Quinshon Judkins. Pick 6 was Tyler Warren. Pick 7, Matthew Golden. Pick 8, Emeka Egbuka. Pick 9, Caleb Johnson. Pick 10 was Tet McMillan. Pick 11 was Cam Ward. And pick 12 was Luther Burden. Joe, I'm going to say this, just reading through this one more time. Like, I almost feel better about having a pick in the second or third round and getting a potential, like, boom player rather than at the end of the round where you're getting, like, Luther Burden where you're just not sure yet, or, like, Tet McMillan where you're not sure yet. Like, I don't know. I feel like some of these guys in the second round, the boom may be worth getting in there. So, yeah, this is a draft where, man, these picks are so valuable.
Yeah. No, they really are. I mean, when you're looking at the second round, we have guys like Trey Harris, Colson Loveland. They could vault up into the first round with a good landing spot. I think that Dylan Sampson could be drafted higher than a lot of people think. And if he's put in a 1A, 1B situation, he could be going at the back end of the first round. We'll see what happens with Shedeur, but all these guys in the third, fourth round that we discussed, if they get the right landing spot, I mean, just vaulting up the boards here. So I like it. It's going to be a good draft. I can't wait to cover this draft live.
Yeah, we are going to be live the night of the draft on Thursday. We're going to watch the whole first round. We will be here. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to be surprised. Our reactions are always hilarious. It's never not been a good time, Joe. Like, that's the thing. It's always been a ton of fun doing these drafts with you and Josh and just watching along as we go. So can't wait to do that. We will be doing that. Like I said, Thursday night, first round of the draft. Come watch it. You can have it on in the background and have us on, or, whatever way you want to do it. But we're going to be chatting about fantasy football as live as it's happening. And we will be breaking down each landing spot as far as what it means for each fantasy spot. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'll be a great time. Go Bears.
For sure. All right, Joe. Get us out of here.
All right. Thank you, Possums, and good night.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.